Hello, good people. It's Rob Lee. I haven't talked to you guys in maybe 9, 10 days, something like that. I've been engaged in my own spiritual warfare, my wife and I both, but especially me. It doesn't bother me, man. It's a part of it. If you're a true Christian, you're going to be persecuted and you're going to have rough water. That's just the way it is. And if I told you, many of you, what happened, many of you honestly wouldn't believe me. Because 15 years ago, I wouldn't have believed some of the things that I've seen in the past 5 years of my life. I truly wouldn't. You know, folks, many times it's about a road. You have to pick one and you have to walk it. And the decision that you make now will affect you for the rest of your life. I want us to talk about Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ, not the Jesus Christ that's in movies, books, false churches, or many of the people on YouTube, but I mean the real Jesus Christ. And for us to do that, we're going to have to go to the Bible. And sometimes you're just going to hear me talking. Sometimes I'll put pictures in my videos, but from now on, sometimes I'm just going to talk because I can get more done when I simply speak. And from now on, that's what I have to do. I feel like I have to get more out because my goal is to teach you who's who in the Bible. And then from there, the Father will have to do the rest with you personally. But that's what I'm called to do, and I've not done it as well as I quite frankly should. Before we begin, I wanted to tell our Father that we love Him and that I ask Him to bless everybody that comes to this channel. Bless them, Father, and protect them in the days that are to come, because bad times are coming, but we should not be afraid. Not at all, people. I don't want you to be afraid of anything but your Almighty Father. And this is my 200th video. And for this reason, I was attacked because I made a big deal out of this to my Father and to Jesus Christ, that I wanted it to be special and I wanted it to be something different, to go in a place that I haven't gone before. And this angered the serpent and his children. So for my 200th video, I thank you, my King. I love you. I'll die for you, Jesus Christ. I'll do all that you command me to do. I thank you, and I love you, and I love my Father. And I thank you, Father, for bringing me to the truth and the wonderful things that you have shown me. I love you. I love you very much. I am yours. All right, folks, let's go further here. Many of you know I have a website. I love to write, man. I love to write. I've written probably around 3,500, maybe 4,000 pages. Quite frankly, I can't keep track. I put about maybe 1/7, 1/8 of them on my website. I love to write. I love to study the Bible, and I love to go in depth. I mean, it doesn't matter if I have to read it in Old English, modern English, if I read it in Paleo Hebrew, not modern Hebrew, because that's not, nothing in modern Hebrew is based on the Bible. Not modern Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, and I love to learn about Jesus Christ. Every verse, every word, to understand what it means, what it meant, Jesus Christ. And I want us to talk about Jesus Christ, his entire life, the real Jesus Christ, his birth, his life, and his death, and his true teachings. Now, when we get deeper into this, and this is probably going to be maybe a three-part series, some of you I'm going to lose, and I understand this, because many of you have beliefs, and you're going to hold on to them forever, because quite frankly, they have been so engulfed in you, and they are so deep in you that you can't let go of some of your churchite beliefs, that you have been indoctrinated by the churches, society, movies, books. You have been taught to believe certain things about Jesus Christ that simply are not true. So I know that I'm going to lose some of you on this road. I hate that, but it has to be done. I don't do any of this for money. I do it because I love my Father, I love Jesus Christ, and I love the people. That's it. I do it for love. I'm not saying there may not come a time when I ever wouldn't, on another website that I would like to make, maybe not ask for money to keep the website going. Like if we had our own church and there were a couple hundred people, it takes money to have a chat room, private messages, videos, that kind of thing. It would take money from people, maybe a couple dollars a month each from people that would be dedicated. But I've never asked for anything from you. I don't think that a man of the Father should be going around pandering for money. It's just my own personal belief. Now, before we get started, I want us to read a couple verses, and I want you just to think about these. Matthew 25:32-33, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from goats, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Now this is Jesus the Christ saying that he's going to gather up all the nations, and he's going to separate them. The goats on the left, the sheep on the right. Now the sheep are certainly going to be his children. Well, this right here shows us that we're not all the same. Not in the eyes of the Almighty Father, not in the eyes of Jesus Christ. All right? All right, let's go forward. Luke 9:26. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels. If you are in any way ashamed of Jesus Christ, if you are in any way ashamed of his word, and many people are, and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to be around other people, and many people don't want to speak up and say how much I love Jesus. You know, they don't want to do it. You're going to have to answer for that, man, because he's going to do the same thing to you before his Father. I don't know you. You were ashamed of me. I'm ashamed of you. Everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to be. We're all going to get exactly what's coming to us. And this bothers many, many people, because they want to think that it's a one big kumbaya, let's hold hands, everybody one note. And it's not like that. And we're going to get deep into this teaching. All right, so let's go forward here now. Let's go forward and let's talk about the real Jesus Christ, shall we? I mean, the real Jesus Christ. Not the fake Jesus Christ, but the real Jesus Christ. John 14:6, Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Acts 4:12, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men, whereby we must be saved. So he's saying that Allah, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna, Shiva, Kali, or any other name that you want to come up with. You can come up with Barack Obama, Trump, it doesn't matter. Alex Jones, it doesn't matter. You can't be saved but with one name. One name. Many times in the Bible, people, one of the biggest hurdles that many people come across is that you will read verses that are not to be taken literally, but are either symbolic or figures of speech. Now, I want you to keep this in mind, not in just this video, but in the next couple of videos when I teach you. You can't take everything literally. And if you need to ask me a question, it would be better if you sent me an email. If you got a couple of questions, I don't know everything, but you can ask me an email. And if any of you on the channel, if you want to help your brothers and your sisters, I think it's great. I wish we would talk more in the comment section about the Bible. So, as we talk about a figure of speech, right, I want you to pray and let's let our Father help us to understand the difference between what is literal and symbolic. For example, 1 Corinthians 1:25. This is a great example. Now, there's many examples, but I chose one that I think is one of the more powerful. 1 Corinthians 1:25, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. Now, first of all, do we think there's anything foolish about our God? Of course not. Is there anything weak about our God? Of course not. It's a figure of speech. A point is being made. Although I have met people, actually church people, who will actually take this out of context. Yes, it's real, and you will find it all across YouTube. You will find it all across churches. You will find it all across society. So, I want to preface my video by making two statements, and then we will go further. The first is my love for Jesus the Christ, because I'm going to teach you who Jesus Christ is. Because the truth is, and I'm not trying to be harsh, many of you have no idea who Jesus Christ really is. Most people do not. If you were to ask most people, 9 out of 10 people, who is Jesus Christ, most of them are going to get it wrong. So firstly, I want to say I love Jesus Christ. He is my King. Not a day goes by that I fail to tell him how much I love him. And all my prayers, and I'm still able at this point in my life to get on my knees, are through him and in his name. I will only go to my Father, Yahweh, Yahuwah, or simply Father, through Jesus Christ. There is no other way. There is no secondary road, nor is there a shortcut. You go through Jesus the Christ. If you want to call him Yahshua, Yahweh Shua, fine, but don't call him Yeshua, the Y-E. And I'll get into this in another video, but that's something that the devil has put in you. It actually means, may his name be blotted out. All right? It means, may his name be blotted out, and people actually use it. Most of them, in sheer ignorance, they simply don't know any better. All right. I will love Jesus Christ until I take my last breath in this life, and I will love him in the next life, and I will be hated for his name's sake, if need be, I will give my life for Jesus the Christ. This remark is not something that I say just kind of offhanded, flippantly. I take it serious, just as I take the Holy Word seriously. I don't want the reader to think or misunderstand the meaning of this video. Nothing on my site or in my videos takes away from the love, glory, and mighty power that is Jesus the Christ. So I do not want you to think that I'm taking away from the honor and the love and the glory and the power that is Jesus the Christ. I'll say it again, so you'll know, so nobody will come along and try to question me. I love Jesus the Christ more than I love my mama. My daddy's gone. More than I love my own son, my wife, my family, my friends. I love Jesus the Christ more than anybody. So that should put I want that. I don't want anybody to question me on what I'm going to teach you. Oh, how much do you really love Jesus the Christ? However, as much as I love Jesus Christ, is that going to reveal who and what Jesus the Christ is? No, it will not answer the question. So if we want to learn who Jesus Christ is, we must accept the truth. If we sincerely desire to learn the truth, in doing so, we will come so much closer to our Father through his only begotten Son. When you learn the truth about Jesus Christ, you will learn to love him even more than you love him now, because you will honestly start to see what he really did for you. Because most of you really don't understand. You just believe, well, he was crucified, he died for it. No, it goes way deeper. Way deeper. Let me say my second comment. I have absolutely no trust in modern Christian teachers or knowledge, none. So if you're not willing to take the time to listen to this video, and more importantly, the Holy Word, then you will receive no benefit from it. If we truly desire to learn more about our Father, his Son, the Holy Word, and the world that we live in, folks, you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to either read the Word that our Father gave us, and if you're not prepared to do that, find somebody that you trust, that you believe the Father has put in your life, that will help to teach you the Word. Okay, I have no confidence in so-called Christians knowing the truth of the Bible. Most churchgoers simply parrot the lies that the devilish, ignorant clergy tells them. I love my fellow believers of the Father and his Son. However, many of them are under a strong delusion that Yahweh has put in their hearts. And they will not read the Holy Word, but they will sit in a building and they'll listen to serpents posing as men of the Father, tell them lie after lie. Yahweh knows us all, people. And if you're still attending a 501c3 tax status church, then it's time for you to take a long, hard look at yourself. Most of the people on my channel aren't. My friend Shad told me that, and he and a few other people look at far more videos than I do, but he told me a couple weeks ago, he said that Thessalonians, the strong delusion, is the most overused phrase on the internet. I wouldn't know, but it makes sense to me. For the devil to take something as truthful and as poignant as the strong delusion and then turn it around to make the people who actually do know the truth, to make it look like they're the one under the delusion. So let's read it carefully and let's see what it's actually saying and who it's actually talking about, because you can tell who it's referring to. 2:10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Now, what did Jesus Christ say? He says, I am the way, the life, and the what? The truth. That's right. That they might be saved. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Now, if Jesus Christ is the truth, then what are they believing? They are going to believe the antithesis of Jesus Christ. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. They enjoy doing wrong. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. So when did the Almighty Father choose you? From the very beginning. because I've told you before, and I'm going to prove it to you in the next couple of videos, but beyond any question of a doubt, you existed before you came here. You knew your Father before you came here. You were a family in the heavens with your Father before you came here. Before you came here. This falling away has been underway for a long time, a falling away from the faith. Now I ask you again if you would like to read those verses again and pay close attention to the verses. It's the Almighty Father saying, I'm going to send a strong delusion who those who love me and my Son with lip service. They deny Jesus the Christ with their actions while their mouths say Jesus. These people are damned. They have pleasure in doing wrong. If the Father has blinded you, then only the Father can remove the blindness. How many have you ever heard of serpents teaching this? No, they don't teach this. This is the modern church wants us to believe that we're all one big human family, which the word human actually means monster, that we're one big human family. We're all one big family. We all evolved from just one man and one woman, 7,000 years old. Everything's beautiful. It's one big lie. Now, let's go forward, and let me say something about the church people. I know that there are some kind and gentle people in churches all across this world, and many of them will be called out of the Babylon church system. It hurts me and angers me deeply when atheists and haters of Yahweh with Jesus, and the Bible know more about the Holy Word than the majority of the so-called believers. And these devils take the time to learn the Holy Word so they can refute the biblically ignorant people. You do not have to be a Bible scholar, for there is no such thing. However, if Yahweh gives you eyes and the ability to read, then you should read your Holy Word or pray, as I said, to put a person in your life that will help you learn the truth. Someone that you can trust. And quite frankly, they are few and far in between, but the Father has put His servants out there. There's no excuse for us not to know our Father's Word. With technology, with the world that we live in, yes, there's not very many servants, but there are servants out there that are willing to teach you the Holy Word. And you can simply do it on your own by reading and prayer and reading. All right, let's go forward here. The children of the kingdom have the word of the Almighty Father. And because we have the word, it will answer many, not all, of our questions if we read our Bible. Yahweh has written His word in such a way that it reveals the truth to those who take the time to learn it. You know, it's Jesus Christ said in Matthew that they asked Him, why do you speak in parables? And He said, I speak in parables because I do not want the others, and He was talking about the Pharisees. He said He did not want them to understand because He didn't want them to be saved. I want you to think about that now. So the Bible is written in such a way that it confuses some people because they're not meant to understand it. It's not for them. What I believe is far different from most believers, Christians, and all religions, quite frankly. If you want more knowledge, you have to be willing to pray and you have to be willing to read. Now, once you begin to do the work, you must not be afraid of what you're going to find. Inevitably, you will come to your own conclusion about who you believe Jesus the Christ to be and His role in your life. No person has the power to make you believe in and know Jesus the Christ for whom He is. I was taught by my father, for example, and I'm not boasting. I had no man teach me. I was in such a position that I trusted no one, literally no one. I tried what's called Christian identity, kingdom identity. I tried all the moves. I went to church, they kicked me out. They told me and my wife to never come back. I was in such a position that I wanted my Father to teach me through my spirit. You teach me, Father. You promised that you would. You teach me. When you teach me, Father, I will do something with it. I will glorify you with it. And I will reach out to my brothers and sisters. And it's been a long road, but the Father has been incredibly generous to me in terms of knowledge and His word. People should help one another to learn the truth. However, only the Father can bring you to the truth, or you will never come to the truth, period. Now, I know that the majority of the so-called Christians have been taught just the opposite. However, our Father makes it clear that He brings us to His Son. And this is, again, I've taught this before, but you have to, please, everything that I tell you, I want you to tie them around your neck and remember them. John 6:43 through 46 and John 6:65 and 66 makes it clear that the Almighty Father, nobody can bring you to the truth, which is who? Jesus Christ is the truth personified. Okay, who brings you to that truth? John 6:44 and 45. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. Now, who just brought this person? Jesus Christ is saying, who will bring you to him? The Father. Who's going to raise you up at the last day? Jesus Christ. Who's going to judge you? Jesus Christ. 45. It is written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught of God. Every man therefore that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. If you are of the Father, you will come to Jesus Christ. You won't come to anybody else. You won't come to any other. You won't come to any other religion. You will come to Jesus Christ. Period. 6:65. And Jesus Christ said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. None of us can come to Jesus the Christ unless our Father brings us to him. When our Father teaches us through his Spirit, he will lead us to his Son. Never again should you let anyone tell you, oh, I found Jesus. I had a I found Jesus moment. It's a lie. Our Father decides when we come to his Son. The serpents that stand at the pulpits on Saturdays, Sundays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, how many ever days a week that they can get some money from you, they do nothing but tell you lies and keep you confused. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the truth. And we're going to break the bonds of some of the teachings from the Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, and Protestant lies. And at the end of this video series, I will put a PDF file so you can download everything that I've said, because this was written by me. What I'm reading to you now, I have ad-libbed some, but I wrote this years ago. You can download it so you can have it for your learning. So, let the truth reign like a hard summer storm, deliberate or ignorant lies. Most of what I have heard or learned from so-called Christian society and the school system was wrong. I've learned in my years on this earth that people are incredibly naive. And I always considered myself, before the Father brought me to the truth, I was incredibly street smart. I lived a rather hard life, and I had a form of education that was non-academia. It was non-biblical. It was a street smart. It was a street education. My father gave me another form of education, but I will declare to you that the education that I got from the street helped me, and it was all part of the Father's plan as I went on to be able to see through people, to read people, because it helped me to spot the BS artists, the con men, and the shills. And when you can look at a pastor, shake his hand, and I did this, and look him in the eye and tell him with your eyes, you're a liar. Not only are you a liar, you're a punk. You're weak, and what comes from your loins is weak. Yes. All right. Now, let's go ahead, and I want you to think about something. And this will help us immensely with our learning the truth about Yahweh, Yahweh-Shua, and we're just going to call him Jesus. Because I know there's a big deal about the name, and we're going to get into that. There's a big deal about the name. If you don't call Jesus, if you don't call him Yahshua, Yahweh-Shua, Yahushua, he's got 10 names. If you don't call him the correct name, you're in trouble. That's a lie. But anyway, we'll get there. But for now, let's stay on point. And let me explain something to you. Let's say you have a church, 500 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people, or maybe it's even a mega church, 10,000, 20,000 people. And it's a 501c3. Get it? A C is 3. And then you have the letter 3. What is that? That's a 33. All right. So in any 501c3 church, and people ask, what is a 501c3 church? I had a girl ask me on another video, what do you have against 501c3 churches? Well, sister, they are owned by the corporations. They are owned. They have a charter of what they can and cannot teach, period. The Pope, pastor, priest, bishop, or any other title that serpents use can tell the churchgoers anything about the Holy Word, and the blind, naive churchgoers will believe it without ever doing their research to see if it's even true. This naivete and lack of biblical knowledge is a fact, and it takes place every day all over this world. It is the same with people who sit and watch TV, and they sincerely believe everything that they see on the news is a real event. The consequences of such blindness are far more devastating and painful than most people will comprehend until it is far too late. I pose one simple question to the reader, and I humbly ask you to think about what I'm asking you. What if the overwhelming majority of everything that you believe to be the truth was in fact a lie? What if it was a lie? Moon landing, lie. Things that you had been taught in school, lies. Now, to be more precise, what if the vast majority of everything you thought you knew about God, and I don't like using the word God often, what if everything that you thought you knew about God, Jesus, the Bible, and this world was a lie? What if all your life you had been taught lies and you never took the time and had the desire to check for yourself to see if what you were being taught was indeed true? You see, because the only way you can ever really come to the truth is how? It's through the Father. He brings you to Jesus Christ, and the Father will bless you with the truth of this world. He will open doors to you to reveal to you things mysteries about this world. Let's go forward, people. Some people have one foot in the kingdom of Jesus the Christ and the other foot in this world. You see, they cannot put both feet into the kingdom because they lust after the desires of this depraved world. People do not love the Father and his precious Son enough to give up such simple, short pleasures. The lives that we live here, folks, they're here today and gone tomorrow. The next minute is not promised to us. Folks do not want to miss out on the action of this world. They want to keep up with technology, movies, music, sports, politics, and the insatiable appetite for money, sex, status, and getting high, drunk. The devil loves to entertain naive people. Now, I'm not judging you people, because everything that I just mentioned, at one time, I've done it all. There was a time in my life that I did everything under the Father's Son. Everything, man. I have done it all. I'm not judging you, but I am telling you the truth. That's why my channel is called Rob Lee Truth. The serpent, its followers, and the naive people will say that me, Rob Lee, I'm missing something essential in my learning, or I'm paranoid, or I'm disenfranchised. This rhetoric and propaganda is a pathetic attempt by devils and their followers to shut down those of us whom the Father has revealed the truth. However, the overwhelming majority of the people who claim I am wrong are the same individuals who have no clue as to what is actually in the Holy Word. These same people attend churches, which are nothing but satanic cathedrals, and knowingly and unknowingly mock the Almighty Father and his beloved Son. Then when they pray, their prayers never get answered, and they keep wondering, why is it that I'm not being heard? You're not going to mock the Father every Sunday and think that you're going to go home and pray and you're going to be heard. I have openly challenged a church, a bishop, and some of the biggest channels on YouTube of Satan. And I've had no takers. No, I'm not boasting. I have had cons, liars, and paid shills come and attack, misquote scripture in hopes that they will confuse some of the people on my channel. I have humbly asked any rabbi, priest, preacher, atheist, black Hebrewites, all these people, man, and all the so-called Christian denominations, and I think there's 30,000 of them. And I have asked Muslims, I have asked Jews, I've asked them all to debate me for a mere 10 to 15 minutes. Again, I don't say this in arrogance. I say it because I know what's in my Father's Word, and I'm fully confident that if any one of them will debate me, the Spirit that dwells in me will speak, and my Father will be glorified. Therefore, Google and all religious people, come prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, come prove me wrong. I know you're going to censor me, Google, because you're scared, but come prove me wrong. Send one of your best paid agents. Tell them to open up the 1611 King James Version Bible and show me where I am in error. I'm waiting, and I will continue to wait. These same serpents, liars, cons, and agitators also teach at educational institutions and control the banking, medical, food, commerce, military, police, and all hate groups. They promote their demonic agenda 24/7 through the use of the media and entertainment. They lie as easily as most people breathe. These devils do not want you to know the truth of the Holy Word. They are foolish enough to think that they can defeat our Father. Folks, there is so much more to this world than we know, and your Father will be willing to give you glimpses of things. I mean, if you will just trust Him, love Him, and obey Him, you'll find out how incredibly merciful He is. It doesn't mean that your life is going to be easy, because if you are a true Christian, you're going to be persecuted, brethren. You're going to be persecuted from the beginning till the end. That's just the way it is. but the walk is beautiful because you realize how incredibly special you are, that you are loved by the Almighty Creator. Really think about that. You're loved by the Almighty Creator of everything. I want to read to you Jeremiah 33, verse 1 through 3, and this changed my life because I did this to my father. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the second time while he was yet shut up in the court of the prison, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the maker thereof, the Lord that formed it to establish it. The Lord is his name. His name is not the Lord. And actually, we're going to have to get into that. His name is Yahuwah, but we're not going to get into that now. But when it says the Lord is his name, no, his name is Lord Yahuwah. His name has been removed, but I'm not going to do that now. But verse number 3 says what? Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Now, folks, I'm no Jeremiah. However, I give you my word before my Almighty Father that I asked the Father to show me mighty and wondrous things. And the Father did. He took a lowly man like me who was undeserving, and he did show me a few great mysteries. I had, folks, I want to tell you something. I had no idea about codes, numbers, the occult, devils, demons, who true Israel was. I didn't know these things, man. I had no idea. It was through my asking the Father to show me. Show me, Father. You promised me? Show me. For the longest time, I allowed other people to tell me who and what Jesus was and is. And once I came to the Father fully, and I say fully, I began my quest to find out the truth about many things. Without my Father, I can do nothing and I am nothing. The answer to who Jesus the Christ truly is has been made complicated by false doctrine and people not reading the Bible or caring enough to learn the truth. Our Father will answer many of our questions, people, if we will humble ourselves and ask for knowledge and take the time to do the work. Your Father tells you to ask him for wisdom, knowledge, and he will give it to you generously. What he knows you can handle at the time. For me, it started small, bit by bit. Then the Father blessed me with an abundance of knowledge, then it kind of tapered off. It prompted me to start my writing. It changed my life. It helped me to understand the world that I could make no sense of. And for it, I'm grateful more than I can put into words. And I feel incredibly blessed. And I know I am unworthy, incredibly unworthy. Yet my Father, in his incredible mercy, shared knowledge with me. He did not share it with me so I could feel special. He shared it with me so that I may share it with my brothers and sisters. Yahweh did not give me this knowledge in any other manner except through the Holy Spirit, which is actually called the Holy Breath, the Holy Ruach. There's no such thing as a Holy Spirit. This is, again, there's so much that we have to get into, but not now. We'll call it the Holy Spirit. It's what dwells in you. It's what lives inside of you. And the Father can cut it on and he can cut it off. Okay? He can cut it on, he can cut it off. If he wants to open, if he wants the light bulb to cut on, it'll cut on. And if he wants it to go dark, it'll go dark for you. James, we're going to read James here, 5 through 8 here. All right? James chapter 1. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. When you pray and ask your Father for wisdom or anything else, you must believe that your Father is more than capable of giving it to you. Now, I'm not going to boast in here, but in the past 10 days, I've been through some hell. I prayed to my Father, and when I prayed to him for help, I didn't think or hope, I wonder. I knew you're going to have to come help me, Father. You're going to have to come and help me. When you pray to Father, you're not hoping and wondering. He's like, it's not a slot machine. You're not putting in a quarter. I mean, and then it's not a machine, man. When you pray to your Father, he tells you, believe in it, trust in it. It doesn't mean that you're always going to get it, because it may go against his will, his plan for you. But when you pray, believe that you're going to get it. It's disrespectful to your Father when you pray and you wonder, I wonder if this is going to happen. It's disrespectful to him. Let's go forward. For me to grow spiritually and in knowledge, I had to be torn down, cleaned out, and rebuilt spiritually. It took a lot of praying, pain, and much mercy from my Father in the name of Jesus Christ. It also took an incredible amount of studying the Holy Word. During this transformation of my life, I found myself disagreeing with the vast majority of what has been taught among churchgoers and Christians. And what bothered me the most about people who would disagree with me then and now are this. What I believe and what I know is taken from the Holy Word. And this is what bothers me the most, is about many of the people that disagree with me, I'll tell them it's in the Holy Word. Again, they don't seem to get it. It does not come from a lying serpent posing as a pastor, priest, bishop, rabbi, or any other title that they wish to give themselves. You know, any man can give himself a title. A serpent can give himself a title, look cool, or look a certain way, and absolutely know nothing, which is where this is where we are really at. The evil of this world, and much of it hides behind religious costumes and lies. They do not want you to know the truth of the Bible and this world. Remember, they do not want you to know the truth of the Bible because it will help you to open up the truth of this world. Here is a prime example. I want you to think about this. Theresa May, the Prime Minister over in Britain, has said that Jewish people are exempt from criticism or condemnation because when you criticize Israel, that it's anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic. Now, the word Semite comes from the tribe of Shem. Now, most Jews know that they're not related to the people called Shem, right? They've admitted this. Their scholars have said, look, we're not those people. But this lie continues to continually, it just goes on and on and on. But think about what she said. If you criticize the state of Israel, you are anti-Jewish. I want you to really think about that. Now, is our knowing the Bible such a threat to the demonic powers of this world? You better believe it is. Because the Bible, when you read and pray and ask for true discernment, again, it will open up the world to you. This is why the FBI, the ADL, the SPLC, and Google, and so many others are now calling all true Bible believers religious extremists. You see where this is going, people, right? The church has been hijacked by serpents who tell lie after lie about the Bible, and especially prophecy. If you don't know the who's who in the Bible, how can you ever really talk about true prophecy? The truth is you can't. Let me say it again for you. John 14:6. Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. I'll show you the truth, and you and your Father will work it out. It's far more important for you to know why you need Jesus the Christ and understand that you will never on your best day reach your Father unless it is through Jesus the Christ. I do not care about what serpents say. I don't care what YouTubers say. I don't care what anybody says. I only care what my Father says in His holy word. Now, either you go to the Father through Jesus Christ or you do not go. Period. It's not difficult to understand. When you deny the Father, you have sealed your fate. You're done. It's not a game, people. Tomorrow, the next minute is not promised. You may die today, tomorrow, next year, I don't know when, but you are either, unless we live to see Jesus Christ return, and many of us may, you're going to meet your Maker. You're going to be judged. So therefore, it is abundantly clear that no person on his or her best day will come to the Father except through Jesus the Christ. Now, many people of other faiths, they don't believe this. That's fine. I'm not condemning them. They will have to meet their own fate. They have their own beliefs, so be it. I'm not going to get into that in this video. Oprah Winfrey has said many times, there must be many ways to the Father. In fact, she has had a campaign for 10 years that there must be many ways to God, as she calls them, to the light. She's wrong. There's only one way. And these devils know it. You see, these devils deliberately try to mislead the people. Jesus said again that no person can or will go to the one true Father unless it is through Him. Therefore, all the lying, false clergy and haters of Jesus the Christ have to deal with the words of our King. Billions of self-professed Christians, Muslims, Jews, atheists, and all other beliefs will all say, no, Jesus cannot be the only way. Now you have the privilege of, the other people, listen, you have the privilege of believing and joining any belief that you choose. You can catch a ride with aliens and so-called ancient faiths if you so choose. Some of the biggest and most powerful beings, who are nothing more than state-sponsored serpents, have said that Jesus is not the only way and cannot possibly be the only way. Athletes are notorious for this demonic agenda. They are paid to serve the devil's brood, man. Athletes are notorious. So is the music industry, Hollywood. They push the agenda of anti-Jesus, anti-Jesus. Hollywood is nothing but Cain vision. That's all it is. 24/7 Antichrist television. That's what it is. So either Jesus Christ is right or he's wrong. It has to be one or the other, right? There's no middle ground. Either he's right or he's wrong. When you deny that Jesus Christ is the only way to the Father, you are denying the Father himself. Now, I don't care what your pastor, your priest, your rabbi, your imam, your guru, your actor, your athlete, your politician, or anybody else tells you. Jesus the Christ is the only way to the one true creator and Father of everything. Jesus spoke plainly. He is the only way. So now, when you are on your deathbed, sick, starving, hurt, trapped, scared, hungry, thirsty, and all hell has broken loose, call. Call on all the monsters that I just showed you. Call on Oprah Winfrey, Joel Osteen, the Pope, Kenneth Copeland, Stephen Furtick, Barack Obama, Alex Jones, Donald Trump. Call on your favorite YouTuber. Call on your favorite athlete, your favorite singer, actor. Call on any of them. Call on your local clergy. Call on your best buddy. Call on any serpent, man, woman, or child, and I guarantee you they will not be able to help nor save you. I guarantee it. Jesus the Christ is the only way to the one true Father and Creator of everything. Now you take a moment and ponder that, and I ask you, do you really want to risk denying Jesus Christ? Do you want to deny Jesus Christ? Let's read some verses here. Matthew 11:27. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal to him. That we get to our Father through Jesus Christ. Luke 10:22. All things are delivered to me of my Father, and no man knoweth who the Son is but the Father, and who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal. Matthew 10:32 and 33. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Luke 9:26. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, and when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels. Folks, the people are being fooled by demonic beings teaching false doctrines, and our Father is letting it happen because many on this earth are not his children. Now, this is not a politically correct teaching, but it is a biblical teaching. 1 Peter 4:17, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. Why would judgment begin at the house of God? Where has the most deception been? At the house of God. 1 Timothy chapter 4, and we're going to close this out, and we will move on to chapter 2 tomorrow. Part 2. 1 Timothy chapter 4. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1-5. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. What do? You turn away from them. 2 Timothy chapter 3, 6-10. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Think about all the YouTubers now. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now, as Yanes and Yambres, and yes, that's how it is actually pronounced, withstood Moses, so do these also resist in the truth men of corrupt minds, reprobate concerning the faith. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, and as theirs also was. Let me say it again to you. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience. 2 Timothy chapter 11 through 14. Persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, Iconium, Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. Yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. Remember I told you, if you live truly for Jesus Christ, you're going to be persecuted. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. Think about the world that we live in, people. Worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Now, let's close, and I want to read this to you. This is Matthew 7:14 through 21. And I want you to think about what I'm telling you. Number 14, because, I'm starting to get hoarse here. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns, or figs of thistles? Even so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. I've told people this before. If you're not of the fire, if you're not of the Father, you will be cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Now, as you read this passage in Matthew, please, I want you to understand what Jesus is saying. If you deny Jesus the Christ as the only way to the Father, you are of a corrupt tree, and you are of a different seed. The word fruit here comes from the Greek word karpos, and this is in your Strong's Concordance, number 2590 through 2595. Now, it can mean two things. I want you to think about what Jesus was saying, then think about the dual meanings of it. It can mean fruit, as in to be plucked up. It also means to be fertile, as in seed, your seed, as in your progeny. Are you getting it now? Jesus is saying that they're not of my family. They are not of his family. If this teaching seems strange to you, it's because most of you have been lied to all of your lives. Read the words of Jesus the Christ. It's right there in front of you. The word fruit in this passage does not mean what you eat. It means your progeny. And we will continue this in part 2. We will look at who Jesus really is. And then in part 3, we will look at the death of Jesus and what really happened. And not according to the movies and the books and the false churches, but we'll look at the truth of what really happened to Jesus Christ. And we'll let our Father's holy word tell us the truth. May the Almighty Father bless you all in the name of Jesus Christ. God bless you.